of y'all. Shout out to 60 LB with the super sticker. Hold on. Shout out to E. Taylor with the $2 super chat. Bring back dads and ass whippings. Start early. That's right. Discipline starts at home. And Deacon Dave with the $4 super sticker. Thank y'all for supporting the show. Hit that like button for me, y'all.
I need that money.
And the link is in the chat. The link is in the chat. We're going to talk about accountability. Here's my thesis right now. Here's my working hypothesis. As a nation, and this is bigger than just Black, obviously. So as a nation, I argue our unwillingness to approach the issue of female accountability, our unwillingness to grapple with such a complex issue like female accountability is directly related to things like teen takeovers. And when you look at the school system, right? The school system is universally failing inner city children, the boys in particular. And then the school system largely feminized. That was kind of the argument I was having with that lady the other day on the Not for Humans channel, and she was talking about women being better for schools. And I only brought up one issue, but there's myriad issues, like just the fact that in a place like Chicago, the teachers are demanding more money, but the kids literally can't read or even do math at like a proficient school level. And in order to crack down on that, it would require actually, upsetting women. A large, politically active, well-supported, well-funded group of women. And same thing like with the teen takeover thing, or I'm surprised Georgia got that law off the ground, the Parental Accountability Act, because even there, right, it is it's women versus women. It's the Teachers Federation in Georgia who wanted a law because largely the children of single moms are getting unruly, and those teachers can't actually make the moms better parents, right? They can't make the kids behave better. I mean, they can't make the parents make the kids behave better. And so the women, the female teachers, the Teachers Federation in Georgia, they are pushing for a law to now hold the women accountable, because that's really what's going on in the school system. It's a lot of young women who are having children and things are getting out of hand. That being said, welcome to the show, Mr. O. Any thoughts on my working hypothesis so far?
It's a good hypothesis. I mean, I think you didn't leave no corner unturned or anything. I'm just looking at this malarkey coming from my city. These little crumb crusher, little niggas, just tear things up and just go back home to the south side and west side and probably some north side homes. Female accountability, right, Hood? It was more women out there than the boys, right? But you see that only the boy got shot. Right. I got past the mic. Just go. I mean, your theory is solid. It's really solid. At the Navy Yard, though, really? Y'all really at the Navy Yard with this boy? Oh my God. And the crash out, the crash out at the airport. Now, how much you want to bet, Hood, that she still got her frequent flyer miles after that whole debacle? Hood.
My bad. I was all muted up, and I'm not even looking at the screen. Now, you would think they put you on a no-fly list or something like that, but I was trying to pull up something here. They're actually trying to make this a thing. So this is in Baltimore a couple of months back. Look at this.
A bill calling for parental accountability when their child commits a crime is on the table in Annapolis. The bill's sponsors believe it will help curb juvenile crime. Fox 45's Jessica Babb joins us live. Jessica, there was some contentious debate, we understand, during a committee hearing this afternoon.
There certainly was quite a bit of back and forth between lawmakers and someone who opposed this piece of legislation. But under the Parental Accountability Act, some of the penalties for parents could include things like fines and even community service. But like I mentioned, some of those people who opposed this bill today argue that Maryland already has similar laws in place that hold parents accountable when kids commit crimes. But as you'll soon see in this package, in this story that you're about to see, some of the lawmakers pushed back, quick to point out some of the issues in the juvenile court system, saying more needs to be done. The Department of Juvenile Services. It's a state agency that's repeatedly come under fire.
I think that DJS is miserably failing our kids.
And that was no different Tuesday in the Judicial Proceedings Committee in Annapolis, with lawmakers pointing out problems in the juvenile court system when it comes to kids accused of committing crimes.
Are you aware that if the parents don't show up for a hearing with the child, that they're dismissing these cases?
Stepping up to the mic, Senator Joanne Benson says to reduce juvenile crime and truancy, there needs to be more accountability for parents.
A crucial piece of legislation aimed at fostering greater responsibility and involvement among parents in the lives of the children.
The bill requires the juvenile court to put a child who is not being detained on probation if they've committed a crime of violence, especially with weapons. The bill also pertains to kids who are truant and are skipping out on school. As part of the probation, DJS would adopt a treatment service plan, and the kid's parent or guardian would also have to participate. Senator Benson says it's an approach that could help families get the support they need to address the underlying issues that could be contributing to kids turning to crime.
I think one of the major underlying issues is that we've created a system and basically a social culture where the women just go off to have babies, get on welfare, they find public housing somewhere, Section 8, something like that. They go get a make work, do nothing job for the city or the government. And then, you know, they let their kids run amok. They essentially raise the children the way you would grow a potted plant, you know, give them some food, some water, and put them in the sunlight. That's effectively raising children for a lot of these women. And that's the problem. I don't know if they're going to talk about that on the debate floor there at City Hall, but you guys got it.
Go ahead, Midwest request.
Hey, Mr. O, do you remember when they had the truancy laws? I don't think they lasted too long in Chicago for like people that were not going to school. They had like a bunch of absentees, like unexcused absences from school, and they were going after the parents. And I think that got shut down fairly quickly after like some parents were getting repercussions for that. I don't remember exactly how long did it last, but I remember they were really upset about, you know, the parents being blamed for the children not showing up when they were skipping school. You remember that?
Yeah, that had was that in the 80s? Because I don't remember that back in the 90s and 2000s when I was going to school. They probably did. I think it was for extreme cases, from like you're not showing up for like a month, and they were trying to lock up the parents for like for truancy pretty much. But I think they made a lot of noise about it and it stopped. But I think this is completely different because this is more.
I think that law was in California. Kamala Harris got in trouble for that during the campaign. That very thing. There was a black woman, I think, she got in trouble for that because her daughter was like legitimately sick, and they tried to prosecute her on some truancy shit.
No, they proposed it in Chicago. It just didn't go through. But yeah, you're right. It was in California. And I'm like, well, it's going to take, I mean, like it creates a very interesting dynamic too, because if the parents are like absentee parents, right, providers, but not actual guiding the child, right, or not correcting the child, right? If now the parents being treated like a child and also getting disciplined, will that force them to discipline the child as well? But I mean, the tree that's crooked that far gone, like, I don't know how you're going to do that without getting even more violent, like, which I think is just going to make things worse. You know, it's just going to make a more apprehension about like straightening up. So I have no idea, but this is going to be a very interesting social experiment.
Now, going piggyback. Now, the young child in California was very, very sick. She had a full blown sickle cell anemia. A lot of people not aware that is a very, very chronic and detrimental disease, and you can be basically incapacitated, whatever the word is, for months on end. Now, in that situation, that was just bogus. That was uncalled for. But the real truant, see, while I was going to school, Midwest Crust in the 90s and 2000s, they didn't really have truancy. Either you was going to school or you not. And if you basically missed like 30 consecutive days, they just dropped you out and put you into one of them alternative schools. That was just about it. I was very close going to the alternative school for behavioral reasons. I went to school, but I just couldn't sit down and didn't want to pay attention. I always was cause trouble.
I think it's let me read this super chat, and because this is actually a philosophically deep issue. Dick Thug with the $10 super chat, he says, there is a drawback. Accountability is granted to those with more autonomy. Giving them more attributes of a more autonomous being pulls them away from dependency. I'm stuck on this one. And I think I kind of just sort of logically walked myself into that trap as well. And so I want to think on this for just a quick second while we ponder your super chat. Shout out to Dick Thug.
I have Black mother privilege. And I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all. Because there is a privilege for me as a Black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my Black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about Black men.
Now, I remember having this conversation with my own son. A couple of Concrete, mute up, bro. You walking up some stairs or something? Yeah, I'm gonna mute you up. You got some background noise, bro. I remember having this conversation with my son a couple of months ago about as my child, right? You represent me out in the world. As a family, you know, we all have the same last name, and we're a group in that sense. And you carrying my name represents me out there in the world. And so whatever you do, it kind of it reflects on me in some kind of way. And conversely, as your father, what I do, it reflects on you in some kind of way. And so, you know, and I actually think about this, especially as now I'm older than I, you know, was when I first had a child. And I think as men, we can kind of reflect on this thing, like the kinds of things that I might have gotten caught doing or getting in trouble for when I was younger. I wouldn't want to have to explain that to my children now, right? Like, you know, the daddy was out drunk driving or whatever. Daddy got arrested selling some drugs or whatever. Like I don't want to have to explain that kind of thing now, right? And so I think I'm in my own way, I'm building a sense of accountability in my children in that way by just being their father and kind of, you know, maybe explaining things and showing examples of things or whatever. And What I think I take issue with on a philosophical level, with I think maybe Dick Dug is kind of brushing against that by having the government step in to essentially be the father that would hand down accountability. It is actually reaffirming the government's effort to remove fathers from the home. And now that we've actually reached this point of like critical lack of fathers in the family unit, the government now has to step in to be the Uberführer, the Uberführer. The government is now becoming everyone's father. Because a lot of these children, a lot of these parents that would get caught up in it would be essentially women who don't have husbands, children who don't have fathers at home. And so now the government has to step up to be the Uberführer. I don't know if I want to go that far.
It almost sounds like it almost sounds like they need to finish parenting the parent so they could attempt to parent the child, which is blowing my mind when you phrase it that way, because there's something fundamentally missing from their upbringing to let them understand that. I'm like, no, this is not only just shameful, but you're supposed to treat your child like the second coming of you. You're supposed to teach it everything and have it avoid all the mistakes that you did, and to people to admire the child and be like, look, this is all the best that I could do. All my best information, all my knowledge, all my advice. This is the best that I could come up with.
I think the proper German phrasing would be Ubervater. I think Vater is father in German.
Yep, that's Ubervater. Yeah,
Yeah, I think the government is the giant. It's the government has become the Ubervater.
I didn't know you spoke German too. I'm over here multilingual-ish.
As a budding fascist, I have to pick up on certain German terminology.
Well, if you're gonna be a fascist, you gotta pick up the Italian. I mean, the real fascist was Mussolini. You know what I'm saying?
Now that's pretty fascism. I want German brutal fascism.
He said, "I'm on." That's a pretty. You a motherfucker.
Yeah. SKT, what's going on, bro?
Oh, my favorite coon.
Oh man, what's going on?
Any thoughts on this accountability issue? Actually, let me kick that hot potato right to you. Any thoughts on the Ubervater?
I don't too much mind the idea of it. I think that, in any mass group of individuals, if there is a pressing need, something is going to fill that vacuum. And for better or worse, Das Communitas, and those with that same mindset have pretty much egged on the Ubervater. You can't at one end state that you need, welfare, and you need more money for schools, and you need mentoring programs, and you need a soft hand when it comes to legal issues due to your perceived lack with said children. You're basically asking for the Ubervater to fill in where you cannot. So I agree, Dolomite. Yeah, it's more or less a prediction of a theory.
What's the percentage do you guys think that, or the possibility that a lot of people are just gonna lose their kids over this law if it does get passed?
Well, I think that's I think that's the further issue beyond all of this is that, and I hate doing the whole movie thing with people, but it works. What was it? Remember the Titans? The people attitude reflects leadership. So the attitude that are coming out of the households reflect the leadership of those households. And since you have piss poor attitudes, piss poor behavior, what it seems to me the bigger picture and spirit behind such laws are showing is that the children actually need rehabilitation from the parental figures that have birthed them.
Oh yeah, I see a bunch of people that they're lost, but they're going to become wards of the state very soon.
There's this idea of like the great man theory of history, where like, thousands of years go by and then, Genghis Khan is born, stuff like that. And it's the great men that move things forward. And to a large degree, we got like Trump is our great man of our modern era. And when I kind of focus things down on the microcosm to like Black America, there is no real great man of Black America right now. And when it comes to like the leadership, like you were just talking about the leadership in the household, I think that lack of focus and lack of drive that we're describing with a lot of the households leadership, it actually does matriculate up broadly into Black leadership. There are no great Black leaders anymore.
Every freaking day. I'm raising children in this city. I know what it's like to feel unsafe and to be targeted. We have to stop as a city falling to some of the most ridiculous remedial forms of governance. It has not worked. And now we're doing stuff that works, and then they want to come up with another idea that has not worked. What sense does that make? I'm saying ask deeper, more profound questions about why young people are gathering in spaces in the first place. That's why I was up to freaking midnight on Saturday night out, hanging out with some of the young people at the late night basketball, showing up for these young brothers. They all could be my son. They can all be my nephews. Every freaking day. I'm raising children in this city. I know what it's like to feel unsafe and to be targeted.
It started over. All right, so look, man. This is my mayor. I met this BAN right before he got elected. I kind of regret, but hindsight's 2020. I hate to say I'd rather have him than Paul Vallis, but that, what I'm saying, is water under the bridge. This out of touch cocksucking mother ever right here he's so out of touch. This man don't even be around in the city like that. We done the homework. He just be in that, just for what's the thing, political purposes only, aka he only stay in the city so he can be the mayor of the city. But this nigga, he be in all the suburbs. He don't really kick it with the blackity blacks like that. I try to see if he was a tether, but he's FBA, unfortunately. So he gotta get this work. This type of mayor, and like many others throughout the country, are basically making all Black leadership look bad. You know what I'm saying? He talking about these kids remind him of his man. Look, Mayor Mohawk. First of all, the Mohawk is done. He can shave that ish off. And get some Just for Men too, bro. Third of all, yo, re-election is not in your future. I think you're gonna be one and done. And I think all the people in the ghetto, the Negro class, is just gonna have to go ahead and take this L in the Chicago area. It's over with. But going regarding so-called the teen takeovers. See, I hate to say it. It was a stud. It was another Black mayor, a stud chick by the name of Lori Lightfoot. She was a Uber mother here in Chicago. She shut down teen takeovers before they even started. So you mean to tell me that the B-Dub is a better leader than a Black man in Chicago? I pass the mic.
She was definitely firmer than Brandon Johnson, and didn't budge at least. So I never seen her tear up either. So goes to show.
Happening right now at 11, enhanced efforts by MPD and district leaders to get a handle on these violent teen takeovers all across the city. Thanks for joining us on the news at 11. I'm Larry Miller. Well, earlier this morning, we saw teens causing chaos in Northwest Washington.
I love these.
Our Alexis Wainwright has a look at how these
Yeah, you know, teen is becoming another euphemism, right? Because you know they might as well say niggas. Because
Yeah. Why
if
then?
you're on the West Coast, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a healthy mix of some Latinos and black. But the further away from the West Coast you get, the blacker it gets, bro.
Hey, here,
Well,
Chicago.
Chicago.
Did you see the post from Trump where he put teens and youth in quotation
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
And you know how the right wing is, bro. Like they're like, say it, say the words.
What was it about?
He was
About
talking
this type.
about.
It was about Cincinnati. The Cincinnati mayor
Oh,
just went
yeah.
live. There's a press conference that just went live in Cincinnati. I might take a look at that in a second. But yeah, he was talking about the Cincinnati brawl.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the issue in DC. You know, since Big Balls got attacked.
Oh, you're right. I think that you might be right.
Damn.
Yeah. Big.
No, yeah, it was
Big
that.
Balls. Big Balls from the Doge crew. He was out and about, and he apparently saw a young lady being harassed by a group of young teens. And allegedly, big balls that he pushed the lady into the car, and so she was safe and protected. And he turned to face this group of angry young teens, and he got beat up. I mean, he'll be all right. It wasn't the worst beating ever, but yeah, he got beat up pretty good, and he, now Big Balls is a hero because he faced the young teens and saved the young lady.
I can see it already in the making. Big Balls, the making of a racist.
Hey, man.
Big Balls got at least a book.
That's his origin story, man.
I'm telling you, a podcast, a book. Come out with something. Capitalize on this. You can start a whole online career now, selling Big Balls merch.
It wasn't until I was attacked by teens.
That's when my balls became racist, right?
I used to just be a number cruncher and look at things just from just a data means until it hit me. Oh man, I can just see how somebody can twist that story.
Hold on, I think I got some. I gotta pull up some images of that because you told. I saw that this morning when I woke up, and I totally forgot about it while I was doing the show because it didn't even occur to me, and I kind of just did a slight shift right at the end of the show and started talking about this stuff. But I saw a picture of the guy here. I saw a picture of the guy laid out after the fight, and look, like I said, this is not the worst thing ever. It's a lot of blood, but It could. I've seen way worse. I've probably done way worse. So this is nothing. He for this to be a bunch of guys. He did well. He did really well for himself. He came out all right. Shout out to Big Balls.
If it's more than two, it's a struggle to get at you. If it's just two, they could do a lot of damage.
And now he has blood in the game.
And what I'm wondering is how much racism is he pondering in this moment right now? Because if ever was there a moment in a white man's life to really ponder racism on a granular, atomic, structural level, like he's just sitting there, just running through all the Rolodex of racist thoughts that he wouldn't allow himself to think before. And suddenly it becomes okay.
The weird thing about all of this, Hood, is I'm surprised that there isn't as much of a hard just pro-white everything movement with all these things. Because I mean, the propaganda is sitting right there. You had the Cincinnati lady knocked out. You got Big Balls with his shirt off and blood all over him and stuff. the
Look, he is silently hard R'ing like a motherfucker right
the
now.
non-use of this stuff is, I don't know, amazing, especially
But
with
it is
stuff going on right now too.
it is being used, but only subversively on the far right. Like I guarantee you, this shows up in some right-wing Kino. Some angry white male Kino video is going to feature this. It's going to show Daniel Penny, and then it's going to show Big Balls, and it's going to show you the meme, which way, white man, and they're going to use this. This is too usable. What you're talking about though is the mainstream Republican Party, the mainstream conservative party can't touch this third rail. They're afraid, and that's the moment that I've been waiting for. As a content creator, and especially being like a black guy watching this sort of stuff play out, I think more so than any other person in all of Black YouTube, I have been chronicling and cataloging the white man's rising racial animus, his racial collectivism, his solidarity movement, the white wellness movement, the anti-white thing. I have been watching this whole thing grow for years, and the problem is that there's too much righteousness to just make it go away.
It's the boomer truth regime. That's the only thing that's keeping it at bay, because the boomers are still in charge of the levers of power.
Yeah. One second.
Once they go away and these zoomers are not going to kick.
Let me read this super chat real quick. Shout out to Dick Thug with the $10 super chat. He says, I work downtown Chicago. When you see a ninja laying on the sidewalk gooning, my coworker said that's old Chicago for you. They don't want to say black.
Bro.
You know what? I had something like that happen when I was walking. I was getting on the train. I was getting on the A train on Euclid in Brooklyn. And like as I'm walking up the street, you kind of have to like make a complete almost 180 turn to actually kind of get down into the train station. And so like as I kind of like, you know how you grab your arm and swing on the pole to turn around, you kind of swing with the momentum. I did like kind of one of those moves as I was walking into the train, and I kind of like swung, and I had to stop myself completely on the top of the step, because as I was about to put my foot down on the next step, I saw this dude on the bottom platform gooning hard, and then he just looked at me and froze. And then we both looked at each other for a second, and he kept going. And I turned around, and I had to get on the other side. I had to enter the train from the other way. Like, how do you walk past that?
I just want you to know that.
Swear to God, bro.
Thank you for telling me this story, Hood.
Like the imagery, it was such an amazing moment. Like it was a moment frozen in time.
It
like
was a fucking
moment.
You got stealth goon.
We had. No. What made it terrible is for a moment we both had eye contact. There was this moment of like awareness, like, oh shit, I see him. Oh shit, he sees me. And then he broke the moment by continuing the goon. No, that's what made it crazy. Like it was a moment frozen. Like oh shit, and then he totally broke it by he just kept going. And I turned around.
You know what? This could be this could be a scene out of the Notebook right here. I'm telling you.
No, Angry Snowman. It's a scene out of Brokeback Mountain.
Oh
Hood, you just shared an intimate moment with that man.
For real, dude.
Bro, it was so fucking.
You both gooned at the same time.
Listen. I was just on my way. I was trying.
You shared a goon with him.
I had no idea. This is what made it crazy. Like like I said, I was turning the corner and I just like walk right into it, and I was like, "Oh shit, God, fuck!"
He's like the Norman Bates of gooning now.
He was just down there on the platform, bro, and the way he just looked up at me, I was like, "Oh fuck!" Oh my God! Like, how do you even walk down there? I couldn't. I just had to turn around and just go the other way. Like, what are you gonna do, bro? New York City, man. Like Chicago for you. New York City, bro. And really, what the secret is, he was black. He was a nigga. And so, like, I get it. Like, yeah, it wasn't a New York City moment. It was some gooning nigga, bro. Some gooning ass nigga, bro. That's really what it was, bro.
I work downtown too, Dick Thug, and I see the same ish, man. But I'm in the South Loop part of downtown. When I went to the Gold Coast and I see all them abandoned shops and everything, and you see the YNs. The YNs is in front of the Chicago Theater gooning, selling all type of paraphernalia, and the police just walk by like they ain't doing nothing wrong. But let me jaywalk. Let me jaywalk on State Street, man. I'm getting all type of harassment. They gonna give me a ticket. They gonna run my my name and everything. But they'll let the YNs and the ONs just do whatever they want.
That's a fucked up comment, Hood. That's a fucked up. Look at me, I capped it now.
Bro, that's what it was.
Look at me.
He was. No, real shit. Real,
I can visualize him looking at you and going, "Look at me."
No, look how primal. Look how really primal and weird this was. He was marking his territory, and I respected that shit, bro. There was no way. There was no way, bro. You own this platform now.
No
bro.
goon for you.
This is your platform.
What kind of look did he give you? Was it like help me out, brother? Or was
it was just a wide eye, like it was the same look when you catch a crackhead in your car or something. Like it was just a wide eye, like, oh shit, he caught me.
Is it the same look you get when you catch your dog licking his dick?
Oh wow! Oh,
I see. No, you gotta have to tell that joke to some white guys, bro. I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah. Hey, Hood. What was he like? Cornbread from Sinners, like maybe your own people.
Bro, I still haven't watched Sinners, but I'm gonna have to watch that movie so I can remember some of these jokes now. Man. You're gonna make me watch this movie.
Bro, I ain't watching either. But you go on YouTube, all you gotta do is type in Sinners in the Shorts. You'll watch the whole entire movie without even watching the whole entire movie. For real.
One of these days, I'm gonna get around to watching it. Though I am. But nah, that shit. You just threw me back. That whole super chat just threw me down to a dark memory. I did not want to pull that memory out of the crates. But shout out to Dick Thug, bro. I had a New York moment. It was a nigga moment. All right, let's not blame New York or Chicago. Let's not besmirch their great names. That was some nigga shit, bro. That's really what that
Chicago
was.
don't have a great name, sir.
Hold that, man.
As a Chicago don't have a great name, sir. I mean, we was discovered by a French nigga, but I mean, other than that, nah.
Sugar Bum, I'm gonna let you have that one. I mean, he was a homeless nigga, so you know, it's not like I was walking down Flatbush Ave and people were just on their front porches. You know, this is a homeless guy, but you know, I'm gonna let you have that one, Sugar Bum. I know you've been waiting for me to say something like that to confirm all of your preconceived notions, but you got that one. But these y'all kids,
concerning the teens, though, I think. When do you think that euphemism is going to just fall apart and somebody is just gonna on the mainstream just say, hey, you need to stop saying teens?
It will be the biggest watershed moment in American history. It'll be like the Kennedy assassination. Like it'll be a huge moment, I'm telling you, because there is a simmering that whole black fatigue thing that went viral a few weeks ago. And then before that, it was like a year ago, Scott Adams kind of had his like meltdown, maybe 2 years ago at this point. Like there's just a thing simmering. Like black violence is like the Voldemort of black social life. And we dare not say its name.
You think Trump could do it after midterms?
After the midterms would be the best possible time. And if anybody could do it,
somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
God, I want it to be him. I want it so bad. I want it to be.
It just has to be said. I mean, so people have been saying teens. We know it's the blacks. We
God, can it please be Trump that says it? Please, 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 please.
I mean, he's on his way out. He's kind of burning MAGA down on his way out anyway. He might as well just go full kerosene, man.
Y'all remember back in the 90s when Hillary Clinton basically alluded to this word called super predator? I mean, we was trying to get the understanding of who was a super predator. I mean, no,
it was those people that lived in the racial jungle.
Right. Right. I mean, she couldn't really say the blackity blacks. I mean, because we won't be retrospect. No disrespect to you.
She did specifically say young black boys were super predators.
Oh yeah, she did. You right. Never mind.
This legislation is not about punishing parents, but it's about empowering them to take an active role in guiding their children toward positive.
So beat your kid's ass.
Oh, that is such Orwellian doublespeak. I already know this is about punishing parents, bro.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the way, Snowman.
You don't? Why not?
Because the people who are doing who you're proposing to do the beating are the people that need to be beat.
Fair enough.
Like they have no concept of civility.
What's going to happen?
Hold on. SKC, let me try to find the logical through line. Beat adults, not children. Can we agree on that?
Beat the adults of the unruly children.
No, I think that the children need to be punished as well. I think what the issue
beating
is,
specifically though. I mean, when it comes to corporal punishment, beat the adults, but don't beat the children. Because I'm not so supportive of beating children. I haven't really physically disciplined my children in God knows how long. Actually, 2 of my kids have never really been spanked. So like, yeah. But I'm all about beating adults though.
Well, I think that one of the issues that has come up, Hood, is you're now at a generation where they don't even have grandparents who could lead them in the right direction. So you've gotten to a point to where you have to have hard draconian punishments for them too. But in order to rectify it, you have to punish equally the parents and the grandparents.
All right. How about this?
Hey, can we throw in the great grandparents too? Because I mean, we had a lot of teenage pregnancies going on between the boomers, Gen Xers, and millennials.
They real old. I don't want to go that far. I'd rather let the old people just phase out.
No, that's a half measure, Hood.
Perhaps. I was thinking of something though. This is not a half measure because I get you. We can call that a half measure if you will, but I'm willing to go to the extreme in other cases too. For example, that guy. So there was a prison break in Louisiana a couple months ago, and like if there were 8 guys that were in that group, only 1 guy is still remaining, right? How about his mama gets put in the stockade publicly? In town square, we put a little canopy over her so she doesn't get like rained on or bird shit or whatever. But put your mama in the stockade, and then we just have a 24-hour live stream.
If she's gonna be in the stockade, she's got to get rained on and bird shit on.
I'm amenable to it. Okay, if that's how I gotta be, we can put that on the table. All I'm saying is, how about something like that? Until he's recovered, mama got to do his time.
I concur. I agree with that. You know,
I wouldn't put her outside. I would put her in a prison, but I would live stream it.
Still live stream it though.
Yes. Because the crash out in that cell is gonna be impeccable. She gonna be cursing out. She gonna be saying the kid ain't ish, his daddy ain't ish. You know what I'm saying? The chick that his daddy messing with for some reason is gonna be ain't ish, even though she ain't got nothing involved. Yeah. The crash out gonna be good. Live streaming that from a prison cell. Matter of fact,
In fact, I think a lot of the punishments that you have to mete out, whether it's the adults or the teens, as it were, I think you have to live stream though.
All right, Sugar Bum wants to ask, where is your humanity hood? Sheesh. My counter to that is, how do you want a civilization or not?
Whoa! I have an answer to that. The humanity is in the same humanity that's in the photo that she has up.
Ooh,
them niggas.
Man, that's cold.
By allowing judges to levy fines or mandate community service for parents whose children repeatedly engage in criminal activities.
Something Chrissy Costill agrees with. She's the fiance of John Berardi, who was attacked by a group of juveniles in Federal Hill in Baltimore last year while out getting a pizza. The moment it happened,
Group of
caught on
juveniles.
camera.
He swung and hit me in the face with a metal pole.
He now has permanent eye.
Juvenile damage.
Where's the humanity?
I mean, seriously.
Right.
Where's the humanity here?
But they were just kids.
Juveniles, in fact.
He didn't do nothing.
Damage. John's story shows how Maryland's juvenile justice system is failing to protect residents or hold violent offenders accountable.
But Robin Salter, who works for the Maryland Office of the Public Defender, spoke out against it, saying the state already has laws in place that hold parents accountable.
Judges do hold parents accountable, and they do issue orders. Parents are in the—
Man, why you lying?
In different counties, being jailed when they don't.
But Senator William Holden firing back.
Are you aware that certain jurisdictions, probably the jurisdiction potentially where this assault that we heard about today—
I love the racial symbolism of it all. Notice black woman opposite big giant white man.
In place that hold parents
Big
accountable.
giant bald-headed white man.
Hey, Sugar Bum, only thing I gotta do what Joe Clark told me to do. He said all I gotta do is stay black and die, and everything else will fall in place. Forget that.
Nah,
Sugar Bum, we ain't doing nothing.
Something. Let those people do something.
What do you mean?
Let the individuals in the photo do something. I mean, it looks like something out of Dr. Seuss anyway, so maybe they have answers.
Bro, no, this is like a scene out of the Hunger Games. You know, matter of fact, that's what we need. That's exactly what we need, a Hunger Games. Or some type of diversion. We need a diversion or a Hunger Games type of situation.
Are you really suggesting? Are you suggesting that we make poor people fight to the death for food?
Yes.
I'm
other resources too. They need medicine, water, things like that, bro. Batteries, gasoline. There's all kinds of things.
Your mom needs chemo. I guess you're the next.
Would you allow for a new Running Man?
There's a new movie coming out. That'd be crazy though.
No. What we really need is Gideon's Traveler. I don't think a lot of people need to live past 30 years old no more. We see the ramifications, even with us millennials. I really don't think that a lot of us need to live past 35 no more. There's too many people on Earth. Forget the so-called statistics that we underpopulate. Forget that. A lot of you motherfuckers don't need to be here. Even though I hate I hate Margaret Sanger. I'm kind of still pro eugenics. We gotta make the great race great again. So I'm down with it. Yeah. Gideon's Traveler. That's what I'm on.
I think you could. I really think you could use. I think you can really use all of the live streaming to their advantage now. I really do think that if we had a real, I really do think that if we had a real world Running Man, that it would work now.
I think that's the concept behind the new movie. They got a Running Man remake coming out, and it's basically him against an entire small nation or whatever. And so he's got to survive or whatever the whole country, and it's going to be live stream, and it's like modern. So people are going to have cell phones and all that, little gizmos and gadgets and shit.
But I think the kids.
But I want to get back to this. I want to get back to this clip though. I want to see what happens with this parental accountability thing, because we might get to the Running Man, but we're on the path. This is the path to the Running Man. We got to do the steps, bro. The steps are important.
Parents are in the truancy world in different counties, being jailed when they don't.
But Senator William Holden firing back.
Are you aware that certain jurisdictions, probably the jurisdiction potentially where this assault that we heard about today occurred, has cases against juveniles being dismissed because they don't show up? So there's zero accountability.
So clearly we're speaking about the parental accountability, right? And so I think clearly the court has
Get a
permission
white man.
to either hold out the abeyance of the dismissal, order the parties in, issue a writ, but that's still all codified. This bill
Right.
doesn't change any of that.
Well, actually, I mean, the senator is bringing forward a measure that's going to help. She's trying to facilitate another method because the program that's in place that you're speaking of apparently is failing.
I am in court with clients and their families daily, and overwhelmingly parents are showing up with their children.
Now, wait a minute. Her job is a public defender. Oh my God. They literally got B-Dub. That's a lawyer. That's a public defender. Oh, I hate her for to defend me. Yeah. You can continue. You can continue.
She accept payments in food.
Oh,
I mean, she's up against it though, because think about it. She's not just a public defender. In this moment, she's kind of representing the interest of all the women who have wayward children and they can't manage them right. And so she's the public defender for all Black single moms in the Maryland district. I don't know if this is a Baltimore thing or a Maryland state government's thing, but she's actually now acting as the public defender of baby mamas.
It's a lot. It's a lot that they're going through, man. 300,000 jobs missing. Now you're talking about they have to pay for the ill effects of the YNs.
I said it yesterday, man. Women just be going through stuff, bro. Can't help it. They it's rough. Things be happening.
Kamala lost.
Just one thing after another, bro. Just been piling on since January.
2025 has been a bad
And while
year.
this debate is only heating up in Annapolis, parent accountability is something that Baltimore City State's Attorney Ivan Bates has been pushing and has also repeatedly spoken about as well, saying he also wants to hold parents accountable when their kids commit crimes. Live in Baltimore, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching.
To get a handle on these violent teen takeovers all across the city. Thanks for joining us on the News at 11. I'm Larry Miller. Well, earlier this morning, we saw teens causing chaos in Northwest Washington.
You know what's crazy?
Look at
Pause this 1 second. What's crazy is that if that was a bunch of white teens, you would hear nothing. The headline would be this violent white supremacist takeover. Guaranteed. But instead, it's a teen takeover.
Well, what I do notice when it's white guys, when it is white guys, it's typically like very stereotypically college or professional football championship games. And a lot of the, how the race hustle people will be like, you see them? That's just like what the black folk do. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it looks bad, but it's not. That's not what we're really talking about here.
I'm just saying, I've been noticing this a lot, and even more so in the last probably 8-9 years, that if it's black people acting crazy on the news, they make sure to omit whatever the race is. If it's white people doing stuff on the news that makes them look bad, they make sure that they point out the race of the person that did said bad thing.
Well, yeah, that's the basic deal.
You know something, Snowman? I know that this will hit with Hood too, but remember a long time ago where people were saying that when YouTube was censoring really hard and people found out different ways of how to describe things, a lot of the people on the left were calling them cowards and all of that stuff. And now you have the news doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an ironic twist. But see, they're approaching it from completely different motivational bases, right? So when the right did it, it was to dodge punishment. So I'm using colorful language to tell the truth, whereas the left is using colorful language to hide the truth. And so these are actually polar opposites of one another. Yeah, but it is an interesting phenomenon, but that really is what's happening. Like the left is using colorful language to hide truth, whereas the right uses colorful language to actually tell you the truth. And so when we have to do it, it's to keep the message alive and dodge the censorship. They want to actually maintain mental censorship and self-imposed censorship, actually, by using all this sanitized language like teens and youths and crazy jogger, and woman was attacked by a crazed driver, stuff like that. They will go so far with the euphemisms. It's like really a right-wing trend with the noticing media euphemisms for black violence.
A car plowed into 25 people.
Right. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Whereas a white supremacist shoots up a Jason Aldean concert.
Right. It's becoming just hard to not notice how things play out.
These recent incidents are impacting businesses and the different solutions now being proposed.
The video WUSA 9 captured Saturday morning showed yet another violent teen takeover, this time in Northwest DC at the corner of 14th and U Street. The disturbing images show several people being assaulted in the middle of the intersection.
I think it's imperative that we hunker down and we start educating our children on the perils that come with the behavior that we're showing.
Baba Harshan says he was out there walking with his daughter when things...
What's a peril?
I have no fucking idea what that word is he just made up.
Is that hand sanitizer?
I also don't know what children's are.
Chillins. You know how they say it, chillin'.
Chitlins?
Chillins.
All right.
Children.
We have to sort this out. We have to sort this out later.
It's imperative that we hunker down and we start educating our children on the perils that come with the behavior that we're showing.
Baba Harshan says he was out there walking with his daughter when things turned violent.
Well, it was a lot of children out. I think truancy needs to do a better job on the curfew.
The incident happened around 12:30
Truancy doesn't have nothing to do with
In a
curfew.
statement to WUSA 9, DC police say the teenagers were involved in, quote, disorderly behavior. Video from our team showed something more serious. 6 teens were stopped for violating DC curfew law. 2 of them were from DC, 3 from Montgomery County, and 1 from Prince George's County. 2 were arrested for carrying a pistol without a license.
You need to have crowd control because, businesses need to operate and families need to be safe.
It impacts all of our businesses.
Nate Long owns 2 locations of District Alley Bar. He says the chaos has turned away customers from his U Street location. And another problem?
They've been out here standing on cars and stuff before the whole Navy Yard thing. And they know that nothing's going to happen to them because their age is going to save them.
Now, to combat these teen takeovers, the Wharf has imposed a curfew, meaning unaccompanied teenagers are not allowed in this location from 5 p.m. to 5 a.m. The curfew ends Tuesday, but could be extended.
It's not like you can just say a curfew is going to stop all crime. That makes no sense.
This isn't a reasonable or fair response to punish all kids for the actions of some.
As far as other solutions,
I think a better response is coming up with more third places that don't cost money.
It can be.
Did they ask?
They're punishing the white kids because the black kids be wilding.
I was about to say, did they even interview a black kid?
That's the deal, right? We're punishing the white kids because, we can't just segregate. We can't have a curfew for just the black kids. So therefore, we have to punish the white kids.
Something, and I'm just looking at this more from a different angle. I was thinking about when an invasive species is added to an area and how when it doesn't have a natural predator.
That kind of reminds me of the whole civil rights phenomenon. Why is it that black folk seem to be more productive, more morally upright, even more educated back before the civil rights era? One of the wicked byproducts of the civil rights era was a complete obliteration of all the good things that you could point to in Black America. And it is kind of a thing of like, once the white man took his boot off you niggas' necks, you niggas didn't want to perform anymore. You just wanted to shuck and jive. Natural predator theory. I mean, there's something to it, isn't it?
I mean, the same thing happened in Reconstruction, though, Hood. I mean, you coming out the Civil War, you start seeing overabundance of so-called educated blacks from the 1870s. By the 1920s, basically, literacy was down. Common decency. We all talk about the roaring 20s, both the 1920s and the 2020s now too. Go figure. Degeneracy, hedonism, materialism, being very, very uncouth. You know what I'm saying? And basically, we just been in a time loop for the last 100 some years. If you catch my drift.
More youth programs to keep them busy. Put some money in their pocket, i.e., what I'm wearing. It's funny that y'all interviewing me with this sweater on, because this is what helped save my life. Mayor Barry creating a program allowing me to have some money in my pocket at the age of 13.
Now another
Didn't Mary Barry smoke crack?
Yeah, it's all in the puzzle. It's all together, bro. This is all, you got to see the big picture of it all, bro. It's connected. So you have obviously Marion Barry, but he's in the background in this story. You have this black community that's been obliterated on the one hand by government program and policy. And now you have the young men who they can't turn to their own family and social networks for a hand up or a way out. And so now, well, the government gave me money. The government, gave me books to read. The government even gave me this dope ass sweatshirt. Look at this sweatshirt. The government gave me this. I love the government.
Put some money in their pocket, i.e., what I'm wearing. It's funny that y'all. It's funny that y'all.
The government even put crack in the hood for him to sell.
This is what helped save my life. Mayor Barry creating a program allowing me
the infamous black hoodie.
There it is. There it is, bro. I'm telling you, it's all interconnected. It's all together. You see the dots on the map touching each other. Like, this is all a thing, bro. I'm telling you.
Man, you better bake this to a damn conspiracy, ain't you, man? Y'all see the symbolism right here. The black hoodie, when we got the black conservative, man. Hold on.
Look, man, the government gave me my hoodie.
Some money in my pocket at the age of 13.
Now, another alternative to this problem we're seeing is this event happening right here behind me with DC Department of Parks and Recreation that allows teens to come together to party and play games with supervision. Now, not many kids here right now, but we can tell you that we have been told that at least 1,700 kids typically come to events like this. Now, they are having another event just like this to, again, bring kids out, happening on Sunday. Alexis Wainwright, WUSA 9.
Well, this weekend, a Navy Yard resident is taking it upon herself to try and calm recent violence in her neighborhood by creating a tighter bond with her fellow residents. Our John Duran walked with her this afternoon and tells us that she hopes that she can be a helpful resource for residents and business owners who.
Do you think it's your neighboring business owners that are having the teen takeovers? I don't understand. What do you hope to do with that?
Well, I think one of the issues that they are trying to confront is they're trying to do the same thing over and over again. They're trying to say these kids need more resources. If the business owners would share their wealth with the single mothers' households, then this issue wouldn't be going on and so forth. So I think it's one of those things that they're trying to go the commie route to fix the issue.
Democratic
they're gonna pull their money and buy a basketball goal and put it on the street corner. So when the kids come to do a takeover, they're gonna be like, "Why don't you guys just play some basketball instead?"
Yeah,
that'll do it. That's how you solve it.
As if violence doesn't occur on the basketball. Don't they even have movies about basketball court violence and so forth?
Above the rim, hell yeah.
But I think what this brought to mind was that thing that you sent me on X about the Boulay families.
I mean, there's no actually like defend the Boulay family, but I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say.
Well, yeah, there is a whole black upper class that kind of they're invisible in all this, but they're there. They're definitely there, but they're invisible though.
Who are concerned. He continues our coverage.
Friday night saw an increased police presence in Navy Yard after a chaotic teen takeover last weekend resulted in 3 arrests. One woman I spoke to is taking a different approach in preventing something like that from happening again.
Are you passing out shotguns?
No, it's gonna be. I need to connect more with people in the neighborhood. The people that have more need to give more in order to prevent the kids from acting in a bad way, as if money is going to give them civility.
What if you just shot one of them in the foot though?
I mean, the affluent woman, urban feminist liberal, aka the awfuls, this is what they vote for. You know what I'm saying? This is number of the a political tool to go ahead and basically get more Democratic socialist votes in the future.
Wait,
you know
I just noticed something. Chi Williams, that's a black woman.
Yeah, it's as if no one is watching all of the media of young black teens, youth, whatever you want to put it, flaunting a bunch of money and still having the same behavior.
I just want to point out how all these black women have gaslit the shit out of everyone and convinced them that black people have no power, when that's all you see is black women in positions of power fucking everything up.
I noticed, bro. I have been noticing for quite a while. I've been on the forefront of noticing. I'm kind of tired of noticing. It's actually depressing how much I've noticed over the years.
We are absolutely winning right now. Absolutely. We have done more than change the conversation. We changed the balance of power in the federal government.
Taking a different approach in preventing something like that from happening again.
Trying to make a difference in Navy Yard here.
Go Chi-Chi. Go Chi-Chi.
Chi Williams is pounding the pavement to better her neighborhood.
So I wanted to know if I could leave a flyer here for the neighbors. Yes.
The lifelong Washingtonian and 5-year resident of Navy Yard is attempting to build a tighter bond with her neighbors, organizing several community walks throughout the long weekend and letting local businesses in on the effort.
So I'm doing some walks today, tomorrow, and Monday. But just talk to them and let them know what are their ideas for the community, what concerns that they have. And I'll be able to take that information to the ANC and provide that to them to see if we could come up with some solutions.
The ANC? Bitch, is this South Africa? What do you mean what ANC is she talking about? The African National Congress? What do you mean?
Community, what concerns that they have, and I'll be able to take that information to the ANC and provide that to them to see if we could come up with some solutions.
The All Negro Caucus? Who are these people? Do they have control over these children?
Fast solutions.
Last weekend, DC police arrested 3 teens after reports of robbery and fights.
We've seen groups of juveniles causing disturbances, damaging property, jumping on tables in restaurants, causing affrays and fighting in public spaces. And
another one.
Clip. Bro, they're everywhere, bro. Every time you pick up a rug, you pull a piece of furniture away from the wall, you just find a black woman in a position of power, bro. Everywhere you look.
Bro, but no, not just any position. She is literally the head of the disciplinarian. She's the head disciplinarian of this so-called city. She supposed to be Uber mother.
Man, what were the excuses at first, Hood? The police don't look like us.
Now all the police chiefs are over. They're like elderly lesbian black women now.
You need more black teachers. You need more
elderly lesbian black women. Again, elderly lesbian black women. All of them. They're all over 40. They're all lesbians and they're all black.
And they all got short hair. They all got this short hair, the granny glasses, the so-called double chin with the little whistles coming at the what's the name at the part. Yeah, it's always them.
Police Chief Uberstud.
Uberstaden.
Yeah, she's German. Shout out to True Hype with the 5 ball. He said, so all you got to do is talk and everything will change now. Why hasn't anyone thought about this before now? Because we didn't have cell phones. That's why. Nobody was talking before. And so now that we have cell phones, we can actually solve crime with the power of cell phone technology. That's basically the plan.
But Hood though, they listen, but they won't budge. That's the problem. They listen, but they won't budge.
All right, let's get back to the Uberstud. Shout out to Chief Uberstud.
We've seen groups of juveniles causing disturbances, damaging property, jumping on tables in restaurants, causing affrays and fighting in public spaces, and even engaging in violent behavior.
As a parent of an 18-year-old, it hurts my heart to see kids performing those acts and to...
Damn, you look kind of young. Let me take them glasses off. How old are you? You got an 18-year-old?
Fight and disrespect the police officers as well as the community. So that right there just made me just be like, look, it's time to stand up.
And take another step towards a safer neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm ready to get Navy Yard back on track.
We're all about building DC back. That's our motto.
One thing that I've noticed about this,
WUSA 9.
the lady in pink,
happening right.
She's not talking to any young black people.
No. I question that from the beginning. Why are you talking to business owners?
Bro.
That's like building solidarity among the victims. Like, how does that solve the crime though?
See, you gotta understand, the black woman is God. You gotta understand that she can't just go to the young dudes because they don't have the money to go ahead and worship her with. You know what I'm saying? They gotta go to the middle age, old ends and the M ends. I guess you could call it MANs. Damn, middle-aged niggas. Damn, man. Damn. I think I came up on some, but yeah. See, she knows that her beggary is only secluded to dudes that got at least a receding hairline and a couple hairs on their chin. It won't work on the kids.
After more than 300 teens overwhelmed and ransacked stores at a mall and nearby shopping center.
New at 10, KTV's Zach Sauce live for us in Brentwood tonight after speaking with employees of some of those shops. Zach?
Yeah, and those employees I spoke to say they weren't entirely surprised when this happened. They say the whole thing had been promoted on social media through a number of posts in advance. No exterior damage to any of the stores that I've seen, but a number of them were ransacked on the inside, leaving people who were around at the time uneasy.
Just chaos. It was just the cops chasing the kids around, the kids fighting, and it just got rowdier and rowdier. And then
Several posts to social media capturing hundreds of teens descending on an outside mall and shopping plaza in Brentwood Friday afternoon. Two employees of different shops at the streets of Brentwood describing what unfolded, but asking for their faces not to appear on camera.
The whole mall shut down and we were asked to close down as well.
Police say several fights broke out, businesses were ransacked, and that some teens ran in and out of traffic. Neither of the employees we spoke to say their businesses were impacted, but the Rayleigh's supermarket across the street apparently was.
It makes me very upset for my son. I have a 4-year-old son.
This looks like a middle to upper middle class suburban neighborhood. Well, not neighborhood, but shopping area.
And so my son doesn't need to see that.
Insert invasive species.
Right. Because, you know, these kids have cars now. There's this thing, too, where, like, if you put a train station in a certain neighborhood, now those kids can take the train to the mall. And so I think there might be a theory as to, like, what they would call, I don't know, urban racism, municipal racism. It's like, listen, man, if you put that over there near the black kids, it's just going to be problems. But then, like, it's actually, like, borne out in reality. Like if so, the idea of
wasn't there an old
Wasn't there what?
statement? There goes the neighborhood.
Right. Well, this is what I was thinking, as Casey. Does crime create poverty, or does poverty create crime? That's kind of is like a back and forth between the left and right. And because people on the left will tell you that Black communities that are messed up, they look the way they look because poverty creates crime. But I think it's in reality, crime actually encourages poverty, because if you can't actually run a business safely, then all the economic activity that could have been brought into an area is now going to avoid that area. And the people who could have benefited from being the low-level employees, the first-time jobs and teenage employees, that sort of thing, they now have to go further and further away to look for those opportunities. And so you now have an economically depressed, crime-ridden neighborhood, because crime is always an economic reality. People will always steal and kill and rob or whatever for money, but the real jobs don't come here.
I think there's
now we're seeing how that works.
I think there's a third option in all of that. So far as the crime, poverty loop, I think certain cultures create crime and poverty.
Go through it more.
Take for instance, the old Romani gypsies.
Okay.
They're not going to create a society of high trust and wealth, and they're just not going to do that, because the culture is a leeching culture that accepts criminality as a virtue.
Norm, a virtue. Oh yeah.
So
same thing. Norms are virtues.
So when you have a certain culture that pushes antisocial behaviors as vices, and the women in those in said culture wants to reproduce with the people who are engaged in the most antisocial activity, then that's where you have that loophole of the culture creates crime and poverty.
And right, and CP Laundress knows exactly what I was referring to. He says it's a reason they refuse to expand the train subway system in Georgia, Atlanta, because you don't want to give even more easier travel access to a certain class of people. Like, let's just be honest. We want them to stay where they are.
His community.
Rochelle Clancy says she wasn't there when the teens showed up en masse, but that it wasn't unexpected.
It was all over the Brentwood community, Facebook.
Several days before the mayhem, she says posts like this one began circulating, promoting the mall takeover, apparently part of a recent online trend spreading across the country at other malls and shopping centers.
Police, responded. I just wish that we prevented it and the business didn't have to close, and that it didn't affect the community.
A big hit for stores on a Friday night in this bedroom community. Another employee at the mall wondering if police underestimated what was about to occur.
My daughter's on social media. She's a teenager and she knew about it days before I did. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if the cops thought it was going to be as crazy as it was.
5 teens were arrested during the night, and at one point, officers performing what they called a, quote, high-risk stop on a vehicle because it was reported the driver had a firearm. Police say no guns were found and no arrests made. In a statement posted to Brentwood Police's Facebook page, the department saying in part, quote, "We will not tolerate this kind of behavior in our city. Disorderly conduct, violence, and any form of assault on law enforcement or civilians will be met with immediate and appropriate enforcement action."
Not okay. And I think it's the parents' responsibility.
And 4 teens were cited for misdemeanors and arrested. Another cited and arrested for battery. The community is certainly hoping this is the last they have seen of events like this. Mike?
Western suburbs are investigating a teen takeover at a Park District pool.
This happened over the weekend at the Sunset Pool in Glen Ellen. WGN's Courtney.
Oh, why you want to mess with them white folks?
Police estimate between 200 and 300 people came out here to Sunset Pool.
You notice they don't. There's no real purpose in doing a teen takeover in the ghetto. They literally go in the middle of a bridge. They go in the downtown district or something like that. They never do it in the ghetto because, somebody might shoot you.
But
Hood,
but then you have to go around the people that are supposed to be the racists and that hate you.
Bro, that's literally what bro, look, y'all gotta understand. See, I'm in the Chicagoland area. See, Glen Ellen is literally like about 95 to 97% black, bro. I mean, white. You going over there first of all, y'all, they better be glad that the old timers, you know what I'm saying, like the boomers, the racist boomers now outside with they Klan robes on and with some nooses around there. And they probably be like, I ain't know you Negroes even know how to swim. Second of all, yeah, you going to Glen Ellen, which is I hate to say it, not only is it 97% white, it's probably one of the wealthiest towns near the Chicagoland. So you not only messing up the white people's money, you also trying to get yourself Jim Crow'd.
How would they get Jim Crow'd if the crow is gone?
The crow never left.
Well, that's what I'm questioning, because if the crow was still there, the fear would be there.
Cool Kamasi, they're not. Look, there's too many of them. The boomers will never die. They like cockroaches. We're gonna keep on dealing with the boomers to the year 2080, like I keep telling y'all. They are the problem. There's too many of them. But yeah. What you had to say, SKC? I'm sorry about that.
Well, what I was saying is I think that the issue is that the actual Jim Crow is gone. Because if it did exist, there would be no way that the teens would even dare to go there in the first place.
You must not be acquainted with Chicago. What's the name? Chicago people just don't give a f. Even when we was on racist times. I mean, look, we have one of the biggest segregated cities of any type of city, and guess what? We still get bucked. So yeah, this is up their alley, bro.
What I'm saying is there's a big difference between people not caring and people coming up missing. And I don't think that the teens have any fear of coming up missing by going into Glen Ellen.
Well, sure, they need to, because they messing up all the people's money around there. But I passed them up.
For 5 o'clock Saturday, some of them causing issues, resulting in it being closed down for the remainder of the day.
Glen Ellen's really a quiet town. I know I've been talking to some of the parents today and a couple of the kids too, and they were definitely kind of freaked out.
On a scorching Saturday, a chance for families to cool off and enjoy the Park District Sunset Pool, delving into what witnesses call chaos. Video shared with WGN shows the moment a manager was pushed into the lap pool while trying to get the young crowd to leave. A young man appears to help her out of the water while others can be seen laughing. Police say some of the people in the group went in without paying, were smoking pot, drinking alcohol, and setting off fireworks. Police called in backup from area agencies to help disperse the crowds. John Horace lived in Glen Ellen for a long time and was at the pool Saturday leaving before everything happened.
Yeah, it was a peaceful day, I guess, up until later in the day. I was long gone by then.
Police sources say many of these so-called teen takeovers are organized on social media pages like this one, naming places from Chicago to the suburbs. One of the posts referencing Naperville, and police say they were aware and had officers ready, but no issues were reported. It's not clear whether this was connected or if that group came to Glen Ellen instead.
They're coming with an intent to be disruptive. There's no question about that. And
they're putting that out there. They like I said earlier, they want to film everything.
Retired Riverside Police Chief Tom Weitzel says it's important agencies
Just a question, real
keep
quick.
up on
Hood.
social media because that's where these are being organized. He also says it presents a challenge for law enforcement.
And I'm only thinking of it from just the economics. You know how much that costs to divert resources, police resources to a particular area just at the posting of a potential takeover?
So what you're saying is segregation was economically efficient, is what I'm hearing.
Well, I'm saying that when people bring up things like reparations and all of those, the costs that take place that are incurred from just simple things like this. I mean, how can you substantiate that over, I don't know, even a summer?
I'll counter that with a story. I don't know how real the story was, but allegedly back in their days of racism, I don't know if this was like the 50s or 60s, but there was a pool, and I think it was like a public pool or whatever, but maybe it was in the the wrong neighborhood or something like that. And anyway, these black kids went to go jump in the pool, and the white guy, this is why it became a racist story. Apparently some white guy like poured some kind of, I don't know, caustic chemical in the water, something to like mess up the water. Way cheaper than calling all those cops. And what I'm thinking about though is back in the day, pools, specifically public pools, were like a little racism battleground. We don't want these niggas in our pools. And now it just kind of, it's like we've almost come full circle.
It wasn't you specifically, it was your hair grease we didn't want in our pools.
I thought the chlorine would have just fixed all that up. Anyway. It's just now it seems like we've kind of come full circle to this point where like you're making all of the reasoning behind segregation look actually practical and efficient at this point.
Well, I'm just stating that just some very basic things that a lot of the other people don't ever throw into consideration. I think there are very few people that talk about such things. The economic resources that are required in order to handle things like this. If there's no way that you could insert this into a city budget with any sort of accuracy, or
there's another way
before the taxpayers.
Well, you got to remember, like where
I have another
where I grew up and we had a public pool. It was actually the students that ran the public pool when it was open. Okay, it was owned by.
Quaint.
No, I'm just saying, like the lifeguards were the upperclassmen in high school. You know, the people that
How small a town we're talking about?
I graduated in a class of about 70 kids.
Quaint. And it's not a jab or nothing.
No, what I'm saying though is
small town America.
Right, but what I'm saying is if you just shrink that down, instead of it being a town, a community, that's how you would have to run it, and it basically not be such a cost burden as basically let your high school kids run it. And do you actually have any high school kids that you could trust with running it and operating it properly
these niggas
in the city?
Them niggas right there, them niggas, nah. They pushing people in the pool and stuff. You can't trust them to
What
run
steps
this.
they can take.
You just can't go in there and just, arrest every single teenager and push them around and force them out. You can't do that, okay?
Oh man, we used to be a proper country.
But why can't you?
Once upon a time, that's literally what you would have done.
I mean, because I'm just
Yeah, why
thinking
can't you,
about-
SKC?
And I'm thinking about all of the costs. It's like your insurance premiums are going to go up. I mean, from auto to homeowner to commercial property. Your zip code, property values are going to drop. You have to pay more for all sorts of mental health programs and schools and
Oh, the
clinics.
lady that
There's
got
gonna-
pushed in the pool, she needs therapy.
There's going to be larger issues at schools with police and what do they call them, resource officers and junk. All of these intangible costs. You have to it's just so much.
Lock
They
they
even-
mamas up.
They even have resource officers in small, like super small town schools now too, though. That's crazy.
Good grief. I haven't even thought about all the municipal stuff, the court cases, the court stuff, all of the extra people that you have to have on hand for a bunch of cases that should have never taken place, and all of the extra police paperwork, the overtime.
Hey, I had a third option. This is just a proposal. Don't judge me here. Just throwing it out
Purge,
there.
the purge,
Who does
Armed,
the cleanup?
armed
for all of this
mass
stuff?
vigilantism.
the purge.
A mini purge.
Who does the cleanup for all of this stuff?
The city. Some fat guy named Ted, his crew.
So you have to respond, and the smaller suburban agencies have to get cooperations from their neighbors. You do have to go in, clear it out. Sometimes they'll move on to the next location. They'll publicize that. They are traveling by car, that's for sure.
Park District Management says
Start impounding vehicles. You're gonna have to figure out how to get back home tonight. Call your mom so we can lock your mom up. All roads lead back to put their moms in jail. Okay, I am not budging off this point. I don't think you can bribe me. You can't intellectually convince me. You're gonna have to physically beat me off of this point. All right,
Well,
put their
I
moms
agree
in
with you.
jail.
Hood.
They
I
gotta go
agree
to
with
jail,
you.
bro. No, what?
Hold
I
on,
think it
I agree
further.
with you, sir. The question is what are we doing with the kids after we put the moms in jail? Are we giving them to their fathers?
I don't
No.
necessarily care.
They gotta go too. They
Let
gotta
them
go
walk
too.
the plank, bro. I don't really care what happens to them. That's your punishment. You're forgotten.
What did the FBI director say? He said about them being deported. They gotta be deported. They could be locked up with them.
No, hold on, because now my question is this: so you're going to take already unsupervised kids and give them less supervision? Then
Let the streets eat them, bro. They'll get dealt with one way or another. I'm thinking about big picture stuff here.
that's what I'm thinking of as big picture stuff here, man. There has to be a reckoning that fatherhood is a must in this country.
That part will work itself out, but I'm with you though. This is like the hammer and the anvil. You be the anvil, I'll be the hammer.
This is like an ends justify the means type of argument, but like y'all said though, I suggest not even prison. I say the funny farm, and what I mean by the funny farm, I mean the mental institution. Put both of them in there. Both get self-corrected.
Dick Thug has another proposal. It's kind of late in the game, but he says, although I'm pro-life, was Margaret Sanger onto something? A little late in the game for that. That's basically just execute the kids. You want to
you don't have to execute them. You don't have to execute them. They're already executing themselves.
No,
Yeah, pretty much.
I think you have to get them away from civilized society somehow. Snowman, because it's not as though they just want to eliminate themselves at a point, because they're populating too quickly to eliminate themselves in the first place. But they also want to eliminate people that have nothing to do with them.
Gonna have to put them on that Lord of the Flies island.
safety of their guests and staff is their number one priority. And that's why they worked with police to be able to shut this down for the remainder of the day. As far as arrests here, there was one reported for illegal use of fireworks, according to Glen Ellen police. In Glen Ellen tonight, Courtney Spinelli, WGN News.
And that's what I'm saying, Snowman. I almost think that a way to.
If I was the president, the first thing I would do, I ain't gonna lie, I'm black and I'm proud, but I hate niggas though. I swear. I find a way. I swear to God, because like niggas be geeking, like a lot wrong with our country because of niggas. I swear to God, every other culture look out for themselves. Niggas be geeking, like niggas are the reason why America is the way it is. And white people too, no bullshit though. But niggas be geeking though, for real. So I gotta do something about the niggas though. I gotta keep them in line. I keep them in line, bro. We gotta make some laws for niggas. No bullshit.
Can you keep them in line?
That's what they first. Niggas first, and then everybody else.
But can you actually keep them in line?
Yes, you can. See, Angry Snowman, everybody on the panel. Do y'all remember a particular movie? I think it was Kevin Hart's first movie. It was called Paper Soldiers, and they had Charlie Murphy in there. Yeah, Charlie Murphy.
Yeah, but movies aren't real life.
Oh no! See, the thing is, art imitates life, and life imitates art. See, he had a good solution to dealing with because he hated niggas too, and so do I. And the best way to go ahead and basically deal with the nigga class, if the first approach was to slap him, the last approach is to shoot him. Just saying.
So we got another team takeover, Memphis, Tennessee. Oh wow, didn't expect that.
Dude, somebody set off some black cats.
They shooting! They shooting!
Why? I don't understand it. Why?
Oh, get out of there! I don't even play like that.
Damn, they dumb.
Where my bitch at? Get the fuck out of here! Oh God! They acting the bullshit. What the fuck, nigga? Where my bitch? They want my bitch go. I don't know they do. Nigga, I got down. I don't got my strap on.
Damn, she said she got her strap on. Steven with the $20 super chat. Shout out to Steven. He says, black men are severely demoralized when we advocate for Jim Crow rather than promoting more powerful, intelligent, and ruthless black men to police the lower orders of ninjas. You remember this group called the Detroit 300?
Oh, Lord.
I don't think black America has the internal motivation to do it.
Is that anything like Sparta's 300?
Not at all. Not at all. So remember, Snowman, that whole thing about black people being more racist, and I told them they can't be more racist because you're too feminist to be racist. Same thing. That's the difference between the Detroit 300 and your Sparta 300. They're too feminist to do anything right.
Wow.
Yeah, they were taken down by a bunch of chicks.
And Sparta was pretty gay.
I know, and they were still kicking ass. Like
crazy.
History is ironic like that. But
it is an interesting comment though. He says demoralized when we advocate for Jim Crow rather than promoting blah 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 blah. Well, I mean, one has proven to be effective.
Right. I don't run from that at all. I mean, even calling it demoralized, I suppose that may actually have to necessarily be true. Doesn't change the equation, though.
Yeah, it's like you can want 6 plus 6 to equal 15, but it doesn't.
I mean, I don't
Just
know.
something's lacking. So
Listen, whether it's Obama, whether it's that the gay dude running Chicago right now, I just don't know that black leadership really has it in them.
I don't even, and just the fine hair, the splitting of the hair, as it were. I don't believe that the culture can produce the outcomes that Stephen Carter is talking about.
Actually, it can, but unfortunately, I think it's gonna have to be the talented 10th bunch of that type of crowd that's gonna be able to do it.
I don't even think they can do
Here's
it. The reason why I
and I'm
say
gonna tell
that, they've already isolated themselves because they know they can't do it. Oh, go ahead.
There's another thing. All of that plus ideologically, they themselves kind of only coalesce around blackness and opposition to white. A lot of this sort of white oppositional stuff is carried on by the comfortable upper middle class black folk. And so when that energy runs amok with the lower middle class black folk, they can pull back and be like, oh, no, that's not me. I'm not like that. It's you too. It's you too. And so from an ideological perspective, they would also associate cracking down on black people as white supremacy.
Correct. Wow. But
so I just don't know that the leadership has it in them, bro.
And that's I would say the issue, Hood, because when you show me that clip, I recall being around and hearing the exact same thing stated. You know, that it's not about race, it's about class and blah 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 blah, and that you don't have any excuses and such. But in those same rooms, if a white person was to come into the room and talk and so forth, then they switch gears and go into the whole racial conflict thing when they know that they don't teach their kids to excel in life in that way. So it's a lot of double speak, and I think they fooled a lot of people into believing that they are a solution, and they're certainly not.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull that clip up so you can see, so everybody understands what we're talking about here. Because I know I have that clip saved for further for something later. I was gonna use that for something. Haven't worked it out yet, but now is a great time to pull it up. I know it's not that. Here it is. Bam, I got it.
Uh-oh, before you do that, I think you may want to consider Steven's follow-up super chat. It's very telling.
Really now. When we need white men to rule over us, we are simply no longer men. Damn. Remember back in the civil rights era with those big white placards, I am a man?
Uh-huh.
That was in Memphis.
How low we've swung, right?
Yeah, just like it's just the whole thing of when you have to place a color before man or whatever, I think you've already lost.
And that's actually key. Those placards didn't say I am a black man. It said I am a man. And somewhere along the line, the civil rights movement went from we want to be men to we are black men. And then from there, it really got dark, and it turned into all this other female goddess. We was Kangs.
Wait, check out, what's our motto? We was Kangs. We was Kangs.
Yeah, it got stupid.
And before I miss his super chat, shout out to True Hype with that 5-ball. He said they shooting. Made you look. It's Memphis. There is no reason or meaning they have shootouts at gas stations. I mean, imagine having a shootout at a gas station, though. Niggas really be doing that. I've seen too many videos of that now, bro. It's wild.
Bro, don't talk about shootings at gas station. Remember the Uber simp that gunned down a guy that was trying to get his merchandise off here in my city about a couple of months back? All because he was just trying to sell some butt to his girl. He came out the car, started blasting.
Oh yeah, that was like at a gas station. Yeah, bro, I remember seeing that video. Look, man, you can't even sell weed to niggas no more.
And ironically, Hood, that I Am a Man movement started in Memphis. That was the actual reason why Martin Luther King went down to Memphis that time, because they was doing the I Am a Man boycott for the garbage guy workers down there. You know what I'm saying? And fast forward 60-some years later, niggas getting gunned down in gas stations in Memphis.
Let me share this Black Boule clip. We gotta get out of here in a minute. I gotta go to work soon. But the Black Boule.
Privileged, wealthy, well-connected Black people exist in decent-sized numbers.
We're invisible.
Why?
Because we don't match the stereotype. The stereotype for Black Americans is poverty, failure, victimization, and mediocrity.
These are great. Dr. Miles, a mother of 3, emphasizes success in her home with a family hall of fame. The hall is covered with photographs dating back to the 1850s.
That's my dad.
1850s.
These are all doctors. And that's Grandpa Henry. Basically made a fortune before the Civil War. This all had graduate degrees at the time when most people didn't have a college degree.
23 years ago, Dr. Miles created the Tuxedo Ball.
Actually, this tells
These are the Oak Bluff Black people.
To mingle.
We were talking about the Oak Bluff Ralph Lauren fashion line the other day. That's who this is for. Their history, their culture.
And make professional connections.
Juliana. Shall we retire to the sunroom?
Yes.
That would be delightful.
The Miles
Got a
family
black butler.
are pillars of the capital's historic Black elite.
Sun people with a sunroom.
Given them a very different perspective.
Black people know how to do race talk because it's a necessity in all the parts of our culture.
And SKC, that's the weakness that I was just alluding to. And that's why I don't really have a staunch pushback. I don't even take an offense when he calls it what was it, demoralized. It may necessarily have to be true.
I don't know. It's like I don't know. I remember these conversations, and I know that a lot of these people hold people like W.E.B. Du Bois in high esteem, and all of that entire the talented through line. But there's a fatal flaw in the thinking, and I don't think a lot of people have ever approached it, nor do they want to, because a lot of these people pull the strings to a lot of the, as she says, the race talk. But
Right.
as she explains, she's not going to give that race talk excuses to her children at all.
And if you look at how they're kind of sitting around in this nice big room, like this looks like some kind. You could see this room in a family of white wealth, right?
I've never been in a room that big without it being a museum.
This is what I'm saying, and they're talking about Black people do race talk almost the way lawyers talk about their culture of law. Like, my father was a lawyer and he did this and this and that. Like, it seems like a lot of the Black folk at that level,
Do they have a Chinese girl playing classical music in the corner for them? Is that how rich they are that they got their own Chinese person to play the piano?
I mean, when you get wealthy enough, you can buy one.
Black people know how to do race talk because it's a necessity in all the parts of our culture. Now, at the upper end of the culture, you're not allowed to use race as an excuse, ever.
Who's policing that?
It's just how you're raised.
Do you think there could possibly be a point where class trumps race?
It already does.
Because everybody else I've talked to would say it's always race, it's always
No.
race with Trump.
No.
But you would say
No.
that it's possible to get to a point
Absolutely.
where class.
She whiter than I am,
that.
Hood.
May be
That
expressed
black
in
woman
terms of
is
who
whiter
people
than me.
marry.
It is the culture that you grow up
The way you were brought.
I like how they juxtapose the older woman speaking with the kids sitting down on the couch, silent, behaving.
Hey, the natural order of things.
Could have been two cute white kids. That's how it typically looks, right? You know, the white kids are sitting there being cute, and mommy and daddy are having an interview. This is, at this level of life, of wealth, rather, a lot of things tend to work out the same. And, you know, I forget where I heard this quote, but functional, happy families tend to be functional and happy in a lot of the same ways, but dysfunctional, unhappy families are all uniquely dysfunctional and unhappy. Like, they have a lot of their own unique dysfunctions and problems. And it seems like with this Boulay class, on the one hand, almost as a profession, you have to sell race to the masses and lower class of black folk. But as a practice, you raise your children and you create your social world around people who don't operate like that and who are not limited by that.
Hold on a second, Hood. Are you really sitting here suggesting that the lower echelon, Pookie and Ray Ray, are forcing the upper echelon to sell them racism?
No, the other way around. I'm saying the upper echelon people sell racism to the lower echelon people, one, as a class buffer, and then two, it's a professional niche that they've carved out for themselves.
Correct. They have like fully bought into the mud seal theory. And it wasn't until sitting and talking with said groups that I even knew what the mud seal theory was.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we kind of ended on a relatively profound revelation.
It's not the white people this time.
That makes you happy, doesn't it? That makes you so fucking happy. And it's not the white people this time. Snowman.
Well, that's the thing, Snowman.
Hold on, SKC. I want my ancestral nose bone. All right, don't think I forgot. You niggas.
Well,
Adolf Minion says yes. That's what we wanted.
Well, Snowman. One of the things that it was interesting about that clip is when she went through like her family Hall of Fame thing. One of the parts of it that she was most proud of was stating that their family had wealth before the Civil War.
Literally old money, bro. Like
So
that's a white people thing. Old money.
So
which means she has generational wealth.
So slow that down, Snowman. How did a black family or groups of black families have significant wealth before the Civil War?
Gee, I wonder. I'm sure they own some cotton fields or tobacco fields somewhere. Just saying. And they weren't picking that shit themselves.
Listen, niggas have always been owning and managing other niggas since forever.
Hey, look, dude, that's the
dirty
problem.
little
Hood, that's the problem that I see that keeps arising is ninjas just don't want to admit that they're colonizers too.
I adhere to my colonizer, Gene. It is what it is. I'm pro massa.
If
I have been trying to get us to own up to it.
So I find it really hilarious, Snowman, when you have said groups of people who will pretty much brainwash the mud seal class that we are your solution. We're your best hope. It's almost like the plantation thing being played out all over again with when you listen to me, I got the inside track on Massa. if it wasn't for me, Massa would really come down on you.
Steven Legacy still living
It
strong.
reminds me of the Matrix in a lot of ways. When you think about the totality of the Matrix trilogy, not that last one, that was weird and gay, but the Matrix trilogy, you go through all of
Respectfully, the
that.
Wachowskis are weird and gay now too.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
But you
went
go
woke.
through that whole journey, this whole journey only to find out that the Matrix actually created Zion.
Yep. You know, ironically,
So does that mean that the Matrix
Yeah.
actually created itself then?
Well, I'm to kind of track this along with what we're talking about. The Black oppression narrative is actually self-generated by the Black upper class.
Because the Black lower class needs it in order to survive, so they have to have it.
No, the Black upper class
I
want
disagree.
it in order to survive.
I think the Black lower class need to have it in order for that's part of their identity. Hood.
Well, it's now, so you can say that now, yeah, but that's kind of the program. So that was the whole point of the program. Again, you're in Zion, but you've never escaped the Matrix.
So
That's deep.
it's amazing, man. A lot of people have stated that Black people have never really had any like mafias or different things, real big ones and stuff like that. But I think that's false. I think the NAACP has been one for quite some time.
Yeah,
more or less. Yeah,
the Nation of Islam is another one.
Well, they're like a lower branch of that same kind of thing, but yeah. And in a lot of ways, the Black Democrat machine politics operates in the same way. So like when you look at a Tiffany Henyard, she was accused of basically, which is probably very common, extorting essentially campaign contributions from business owners.
Yeah, that's same thing. Just mafia type activity.
Pay for my protection, or I'm going to come in. I'm gonna rob you.
Yeah,
type of shit.
We'll have a team takeover one of these days, and it'll just be awful.
Yeah, I really do think that they applaud the teen takeover things because they know that a few generations are going to be well taken care of because there's always going to be issues to handle with that.
Steven, that's not me, bro. I'll be the king. I'll be a reluctant king, but somebody got to do it. All right, I will be the king. Steven says Black men are the only group that feels bashful about being colonizers, controllers / masters to lower order ninjas. Well,
that's
another
because-
way. Yeah, good. Finish thought.
I'm just going to say that's because they're trying to Black supremacy under the leadership of women, and that'll never happen.
Man,
I was just gonna follow up with that. That expresses itself most often when I get on these panels, and you see the video I played earlier with the white guy. He's in person with a chick, and the minute she did something crazy, it's like, look, all right, I don't know who the hell you think you are. Don't try to touch me and massage my ego. I don't give a shit about that. I don't even want to touch you if I don't really have to. Like, totally put her in check. Whereas when you get on these panels with these men, it's like the idea of speaking harshly and directly to a woman who was clearly out of pocket. It never occurs to them. And they will explain away all their behavior. And when it comes down to it, these Black men have slave mentality in the face of Black women. Black women low-key have master mentality when it comes to the men. And that's why they're afraid to really be colonizers, because they have slave mentality in the face of their own women.
Well, they're too busy colonizing that box, man.
That's all they can ever colonize. That was me yelling at Sir Ism the other day. Like, what are you about outside of pussy?
Well, what did you say to him? I'm
No, it was.
I've never been a fan of the ism or the what's the other dude, the platinum dude.
Oh yeah, Platinum funny. Platinum funny. I can talk to Platinum though, but Ism, he just wants to make jokes the whole time.
It just seems like their entire worldview centers around
pussy.
Yeah, and with
their very identity centers around how much pussy they have available to them.
Yeah, so it's so you're coming at a totally different mind frame with such people, because they will equate great grandiose achievements of mankind with getting sexual access to a great degree. It's like that's equivalent to splitting the atom.
Sir, that's just another attribute of a woman that they're doing, because do not women compare how much how much they have access to men who have resources to each other.
In my viewpoint, in the world of such men, they would be given Nobel Prizes.
Oh, let's try this out. We got to wrap this up, but we're kind of doing too much work here. I can't pull away from the desk. Red Illusion says Black social validation has always depended on women because they were historically selectors of mates, unlike Europeans. The patriarchal versus the matriarchal mating dynamic. It reverberates in other parts of your social dynamic as well. The fact that the women are the primary selectors of mates in Black culture, whereas in European culture, it's typically men selecting a mate. It's very patriarchal in that way. That actually does matter. It has effects on other things. And I think you hit something. That was actually a really gold observation there. And this is kind of going back to what I was talking about with matriarchal theory. And I think I've shared some of this with you, SKC. Like, just because in a matriarchy, the women are the primary selectors, it feminizes the men, it masculinizes the women. And I think low key, it actually lowers the IQ.
Well, I've just noticed that, like, if you see all white panels, there might be one mixed white dude up there that might try and simp for women like Sir Ism does, but not the whole panel. You know what I'm saying? You just don't see that shit.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, and I don't spend as much time in like white red pill panel spaces to really do a comparison, but I don't think there is that phenomenon in white America the way it is in Black America. Like, you'll have a civil war in Black America over simping. I don't know if the white guys do that.
I mean, the only women that have ever been important to me as a child growing up was my mom and my sister. You know, my family. That was it. Other than that, whatever. I didn't care about any of the other bitches out there. They had their own brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Whereas in Black America, we literally have a debate about blanket protection. You know, the Black woman is the most unprotected. Like, a single unmarried woman will be like, I ain't got no protection. Like, duh.
I'm just, I've always wondered on that, Hood, and I don't mean to hold you too long, but let's assume that that's true, you know, just for conversation's sake. And
what do you mean? And to what exactly? The protection?
Yeah, let's say if the women did believe and could prove, you know, with all sorts of facts that they are the most unprotected, blah 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 blah. Wouldn't that mean that their mode of life would be geared towards trying to find a protector?
I don't understand how they're the most unprotected in society when didn't we just lose 300,000 plus Black female federal government workers? I mean, that right there tells you that how can they outnumber everyone else 2-1 with when it comes to government jobs and not have no say and this so-called protection that they aren't getting.
Well, that blows it completely out the water. I was just, you know, for conversation's sake, just to play devil's advocate of it. But yeah, but throwing the 300,000 out there, and that definitely proves it. But it also proves something else, Snowman. A government loses 300,000 workers, and it's still running smoothly.
Not a hiccup.
not even a little hiccup at all.
I have this. I was talking about this the other day. It's just a realization, a revelation came across the other day. I was in this building, some government agency, and I noticed so I had to go to the child support office to dig up some information. I told you guys I got a side quest I'm working on, and so I had to dig up some information. And while I'm in there, I'm just I can't help but to notice every time, so the security guard is just, random regular hood niggas and a couple of chicks, but mostly dudes. And then the staff is just mostly women in there. And then a lot of these government offices kind of look like that, like the DMV and stuff. And it just, a lot of this feels like make work jobs. Like, you are not in a position where you're producing or constructing anything of value. You're not providing an actual service to the broader economy. These are literally make work jobs. And
busy work to keep you out everyone's hair.
Not only that, but busy work to keep everyone indebted and entangled with the government.
That.
And that, when I started to think about it that way, it's like, I don't like any of you people anymore. Like, it just washed over me like a bucket of cold water, bro. I was just like, I don't like this.
You ever noticed when you go to the child support office that the only male that's there generally is the lawyer?
Damn.
The receptionist dude. That's the one dude I noticed. He was some guy, like the first guy you talked
Dude,
to.
I've never even seen a receptionist dude. It's always been bitches.
Me either.
Well, this is
So
New York
was he a
City.
gone?
Things are a lot more complicated in New York City.
Well, so was he a gondo? That one that sat at the reception desk? I mean, that might have been.
Nah, he's just an old black guy. Like, a lot of the black folk I noticed that work in that place, they're just like regular, like nothing really remarkable about them. They're just typically overweight corporate office government employee people.
Dude, this how fucked up it was where I was putting child support. I had the same child support caseworker my dad had when he didn't pay his child support. Tell me that ain't a conflict of interest.
Damn, that's generational.
It's
Damn.
definitely it's its whole thing. It's its whole thing. But hey, listen. I gotta wrap this up. We kind of went into a lot of profound areas here today, but yeah, accountability seems to be right on the horizon.
So are you saying real quick, is accountability what makes black crack?
We shall see. We shall see. I think it's actually the thing we need.
Mr. Angry Snowman, black does not crack, but does expand.
I don't know. I think this accountability is doing nasty work to the black don't crack theory.
I think what SKC mentioned earlier with natural selection, natural predator theory, I think it's something like that. Liberalism is something we've been talking about a lot lately, and I think we've gone so liberal that we've become unproductive, and I think we need to add a little rigid authoritarianism to get back on track. We got to get the trains running on time, get the homeless off the street, teach the kids how to read and write and do arithmetic and all that. And if that means you got to crack some knuckles with rulers, then so be it.
I wish there was a way that GDP could be tracked to the individual.
It can be.
Yeah, I think the GDP conversation is largely like off track, because that's another one of those things we've been talking about on the right wing. Numbers on the graph go up, like GDP goes up. What does that really mean? Like, there was even a joke about this. Like, all right, I loan you. No. What was the joke? All right, so it's two guys, and one guy says to the other guy, "Hey, listen, I'll give you $100 to eat that piece of shit over there." And the guy says, all right, you know what? Give me $2,000 and I'll do it. And the guy gives him $2,000 and the guy eats it. And then the guy takes that same $2,000 and says, if I give you this $2,000, will you eat a piece of shit? And the guy says, for $2,000? Yeah, sure. And so now the other guy ate the piece of shit. And so at the end of it, no money has really gone anywhere. Both guys have eaten some shit, but they increased the GDP by $4,000.
Yeah, I get that, and I guess the better way to put it is, I wish productivity could be tracked by the end.
He wants gross personal production.
Yeah, I wish there was like some sort of measurement that could be put to the person, but then that almost sounds,
I thought they used to do that when they gave you points for how many. I thought they get that measurement was like how many points you got every year that you worked through the Social Security office.
I guess there is a way to track that. That's already in place, right? But yeah, that's Casey. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta start getting ready. I'm pushing it too close to the clock. This has been an interesting conversation, though. This accountability thing. I suspect we're gonna come back to this. This is gonna grow. This conversation is gonna come around the manosphere. If this Georgia thing really does, if it's really in effect, sooner or later we're gonna have to come back to this. So thank you guys for listening. Shout out to all the supporters today. Thank y'all so much for the support. Appreciate all the donations. Thank y'all so much.
Give me the money for all I would do. Give me the money.
Come on, share your dollar. Give me your dollar. Share your dollar with me. Come on.
But it is done. We got to go. Shout out to Mr. O. Shout out to Mr. O's audience. Drop a like. Somebody give Mr. O some money too. God damn it. We got to get up out of here though. Have a great day. I will catch y'all later. Big facts, man. Y'all take
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.